And for more on the Philippine economy and the impact of President Duterte, we're joined by Reuben Mondejar. He's an expert on Southeast Asia from the City University of Hong Kong. Welcome, Reuben. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Reuben, foreign investors are pulling money out of the country's stock market and quite rapidly. Official data from the Philippine Stock Exchange showing the net foreign transactions on the Philippine Stock Exchange Index falling every week between August 15th and September 16th. The Filipino peso dropping 3.4% against the dollar during this period. And many are citing this as a direct reaction to a series of remarks by President Duterte against the U.S. and China. What do you think?
Well, it's not just U.S. and China. He has also said unfortunate remarks about the United Nations, about the European Union. So, you know, you have a president who is practically a combination of Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Hugo Chavez. So we are seeing here a new kind of governance and politics in the Philippines. But I think it's too early to really make a sure judgment. He has just been in office barely 2 months. So it's not really something that we can say as a picture of what is going to be the long term. He is learning, and we can see that his staff is spending lots of time trying to do damage control.
Well, if his inflammatory rhetoric continues and his very violent war on drugs, do you see this trend of foreign investment leaving continuing?
Look, infrastructure, social concerns, investment in those two areas actually will, in principle, should drive foreign investment higher for the Philippines. You know, a lot of complaints in the past was because the infrastructure in the Philippines was very poor. So from the airport to the roads to all of those were really remained to be desired better. So any investment in that area should be good for foreign investment. As you know, the previous administration of Aquino just spent 6% of the budget on infrastructure. And that's the reason why infrastructure needs really a boost this time. So if there is a boost in that sector, then it should be good actually for foreign investments. Well, take away the inflammatory remarks, the bad temper of this president, but you know that's just one part of the equation.
Infrastructure certainly a boost to the economy, but can we really take away these comments when just today he cursed at the EU, telling the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon that he's the devil, and now we have ratings agencies like S&P saying that this may cause a downgrade. Do you think that that kind of downgrade by ratings agencies like S&P's and Moody's could be imminent, and that would then impact borrowing costs and impact this infrastructure drive?
Yes, there is a lead time in all of this. So you cannot rely on knee-jerk reactions. So I think we have to give time. I realize that the rating agencies are very concerned because in the end, the psychological impact of this type of remarks will have an effect on investments. But again, you know, what he says one day, often he tries to retract the next day. He makes an apology, and what is clear is that this man sometimes is, you know, not well versed in international diplomacy. He's still talking about the evils of colonization, for example. You know, I mean, he has to think that today in a globalized world, everybody has a right to say about anybody. So you cannot say, well, it's my concern only, and you cannot speak about it. Well, now we have WTO, we have international law standards, we have our standards for environment, against pollution, against the standards of labor, and all of these are now the reality of the world. So you have to abide by these world standards. That's the meaning of WTO.
Well, Reuben, very quickly, it could also be argued that his war on drugs, if won by the authorities, could create a more long-term stable environment for investment combined with this push towards infrastructure. What do you think?
Correct. I agree that is, well, you know, you have to think at it in two levels. One, he is facing a domestic issue. He won because he said, I will stamp out drugs. So he won because of that. And now he has to make good on those promises. That's domestic audience. Now, he, as president of a country which has been actually growing very well in this past 6 years, then he also has to face international reaction. So then he has to say things. The problem is that this person is as one city mayor. So therefore, he has still to learn what it is to be a president of a country. So, you know, eventually, so, you know,
right.
People will have to judge whether they want to deal with this person kind of in a stable way.
A steep learning curve indeed. Thank you so much, Reuben Mondejar, Director of the Masters in Global Business Management program from the City University of Hong Kong. Thanks for joining us again. All right.